Good evening and welcome to the celebration in honor of our Cheshire Academy Postgraduate class of 2018. Please stay standing as I welcome to the podium Julia Rafferty, class of 2018, to lead us in the national anthem.
You see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs that wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
As the Director of College Counseling, co-teacher of PG Seminar, and advisor to postgraduates, it is my pleasure to share this special day with all of you. One of the culminating experiences for our postgraduates is to think deeply about something in which they believe and share their thoughts in a speech following National Public Radio's prompt, "This I Believe." This year's postgraduate class shared stories filled with humor, grace, and deeply personal experiences. Today, we're going to invite two of our students to share their speeches with you. Please join.
To each their own. I believe that each and every person on this earth is here for a reason, but none for the same. We humans are similar in a multitude of ways, but different just as many. Within societies, we tend to associate ourselves with those of similar traits, leading the different people to find their own groups. Now, in moderation, this is natural. We see it in nature everywhere we look, and it can be a beneficial way of encountering the world. It becomes a problem when people's judgments increase and their sense of empathy and acceptance decreases. This is traumatic and dangerous, as I believe these traits are the backbone of a well-functioning, peace-seeking, and unified society. In our society, high school in general may be the least empathetic place in the world. It is filled with different cliques, groups, teams, and individuals, all competing for one common goal, acceptance. It is a time where everyone is scrambling for an identity and something to affiliate themselves with, a somewhat microcosm of American culture. The problem with this social scene is that people use others to improve their own status. Instead of working together to raise each other up, we beat each other down in a race to nowhere. Now, it would be extremely ignorant of me to pretend that I've never lacked empathy in my life, as I can think of numerous occasions where I should have been more thoughtful. But as I wrap up my 5th year of high school, I realized how important it is to be an empathetic and accepting human being. People's differences should be celebrated, not ridiculed. And people's hardships should be respected and understood before being judged. When people lack these positive traits, it forces individuals to conform to societal norms, instead of furthering the great trail of discovery and progress we truly need. When society breaks down people, when society fails to accept people, when society judges and excludes people, it is inevitable that those scorned will never blossom to achieve their full selves. As mentioned in one of my favorite performances, A Bronx Tale, Lorenzo says, "The saddest thing in life is wasted talent." This quote correlates with the conformity because when one fails to truly be themselves, the world misses out on a one-of-a-lifetime opportunity. And that alone is a sad truth. Now, I want to establish something very important. Just because I am up here saying not to conform to society's unempathetic ways does not mean everyone knows exactly who they are by the end of high school. I certainly don't, and I don't want to yet. Life is a long, winding journey that can't be hurried in merely a few years. It will take time, it will take risks, and it will take faith. It will take patience, but eventually one will find their true niche. A wise man once said, "Not all who wander are lost." And that is something that I urge all of you to live by. It is okay to be a wanderer. It is okay not to know what will come next. Because the world is filled with surprises, and only God knows which surprise He left for you. So to all my wanderers, keep wandering. This I believe.
Present Christopher with postgraduate designation with distinction for his discipleship speech. Now I'd like to invite Sharon Morali to share his words with you.
You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today, said Abraham Lincoln while addressing Congress and the Senate. Through this quote, President Lincoln was trying to convey the message that one's excuse should not come in the way of one's duty. One cannot use the bad experiences in one's life as an excuse to avoid performing their duty. This excuse cannot be used to justify avoiding the responsibility of tomorrow that every person must face and overcome. Many people use this approach to life. They use their bad experiences and difficulties as an excuse to avoid performing work, as it is far simpler to keep procrastinating and not face the challenges they have in their life. People feel the need to remain in their bubble, isolated from the rest of the world, and the need to surpass their problems. However, this approach can lead people to living a sad, miserable life. People continue to live in the darkness without coming towards the light. My mother played a very important part in my life. She guided me throughout all my challenges and has helped me mature into the person that I am today. Therefore, she was busy, but she always found time to come home early and take care of me. Apart from being my mother, she was also my best friend. My mother taught me that no matter how difficult the challenges were, I should face them with the belief that I would be able to overcome them and achieve success. She told me that although it was easy to always procrastinate and postpone my objective, that this was not the right way to live. She believed that someone with a negative mindset will never succeed in life. My time with her taught me a great deal. She guided me to develop certain qualities that I cherish even today. I used to watch her and learn from her actions. Less did I know that I was going to need these qualities more than ever. In 2011, my mother had become sick. She spent most of her days in the hospital under the constant supervision of doctors. She had a problem with her stomach. I spent each day by her side and I realized that she needed my support. I was sure she was going to return back to her original self, healthy once again. I was in school on the 5th of April 2011 when my teacher told me to pack my stuff. She said that my dad had urgently asked me to come to the hospital. I was worried. When I entered, my dad was standing outside the door with tears in his eyes. He sat me down and told me that my mother had died. He held me in my arms while I broke down. I refused to believe that my mother had passed away. He told the driver to take me away as he did not want me to see my mother in such a state. He wanted me to remember her for the person she was and did not want me to see her suffering. After my mom's death, I was in shock. I was very young at the time and did not know how to overcome my grief. I sat in my room for weeks, refusing to meet anyone. I did not eat for weeks and prayed for my mom to come back to me. Deep down in my heart, I knew she was not coming back. My whole life went in a downward spiral. My grades suffered and I did not attend school for months. Despite my dad's best efforts to console me, I continued to remain in isolation. For months, I was depressed, and even after I became better, I continued to use my mom's death as an excuse to not solve my goals. This led to a lack of performance in academics and sport. I became detached with my dad, and my personal life was affected. I blamed myself for my mom's death. One night, while sitting in my room, I was thinking about all the good memories I had with my mom. Then it dawned on me, I realized that I couldn't keep living in the past. I had blamed my mom's death for all my failures, and when there was nothing I could have done to change it. I realized that this was not what my mom had taught me, and she would be disappointed in my behavior and character. I was continuously avoiding the responsibility of tomorrow by using my mom's death as an excuse. Therefore, I decided to honor my mother by living up to what she expected of me. No more procrastinating and blaming bad events in my life for failures. The death of my mother was a wake-up call. I had to take control of my life and be more mature. I had to keep fighting and overcome my obstacles to become a more successful human being. I had to develop into the young man my mother wanted me to be. From that day, I had a different outlook towards every single thing I did. I had a positive attitude and was determined to achieve my goal. I constantly wanted to live up to my mother's expectations. This mindset has helped me become more mature and responsible and has developed me into the person that I am today. In hindsight, I guess that the death of my mother was actually a learning experience. Don't get me wrong, it was a horrible part of my life, but I translated that into a good experience, learning a lot of important values and changing my outlook towards life. I learned that instead of blaming a bad experience for your failure, you have to let go of the past and use that experience positively to move forward and achieve your goals.
Graduate declaration with distinctions from. I would now like to invite Major Nancy.
Good evening. Thank you for the honor of representing the United States Military Academy and the United States Army for this very special appointment. I'm a 1984 West Point graduate and I live in New Hartford, Connecticut. I volunteer as a member of West Point's Field Force, which are the boots on the ground presence for the admissions process to West Point. We're the local liaisons to the schools and the candidates as we live and work in their communities. For those that may not be familiar with West Point, the United States Military Academy was founded in 1802 at West Point, New York. It is our nation's oldest military academy and the nation's oldest engineering school. West Point remains the oldest continuously occupied military post in America, the nation's premier leadership institution, and consistently ranks academically as one of the top educational institutions in this country. In over 216 years, our reason for existence has not changed. Our mission is to educate, train, and inspire our corps cadets so that each graduate is a commissioned leader of character committed to the values of duty, honor, and country, and prepared for a career of professional excellence and service to this nation as an officer in the United States Army. Every West Point graduate earns a Bachelor of Science degree, a commission as a second lieutenant in the United States Army, and serves for a minimum of 5 years on active duty in the Army, and an additional 3 years in either the Reserves or National Guard. The West Point appointment that is being extended this evening is presented on behalf of the President of the United States of America. Our appointee receives a fully funded 4-year scholarship, which includes tuition, room, board, military uniforms, computers, tablet, full medical and dental coverage, life insurance, a monthly salary, and generous military and academic individual advanced development opportunities that will send him across the country and outside the country. It is impossible to place a definitive monetary amount to this appointment, but it easily exceeds several $100,000. Each candidate earns the West Point appointment by meeting the same rigorous criteria. This includes meeting academic qualifications, leadership qualification, physical fitness qualification, medical and mental health qualification, passing a comprehensive background investigation, and receiving a nomination from a member of Our selection process is very different than the standard college application. Our decisions are based solely on the competency, skills, and character of the candidate. This results in a tapestry of talent representing every demographic of this country and their life experience. We require our candidates to not only meet admissions criteria independently, but sustain that collective criteria over an extended period of time. On average, the milestones that must be met take over a year to complete. And like the candidates this evening, over 1/3 of our applicants enter with additional years beyond high school. This requires a lifetime of preparation, growth, and development. The national average selection rate is approximately 8%, one of the most competitive collegiate selection rates in the country. This candidates selected truly reflect our nation's finest. One of Cheshire Academy's own has met that criteria for admission. Will Vincent Caluscio please come forward at this time? Only because of the adults that have played a pivotal role in his life, molding him into a leader of character, courage, commitment, and accomplishment. From your personal examples, it has enabled Benny to persevere and overcome obstacles, never to give up on his dreams, demonstrating strength of body, strength of mind, and strength of character, essential elements that were required to succeed at the Academy. As Vinny completes his Cheshire Academy experience, your legacy will be forever present as he builds upon a stable foundation that you provided. Although Vinny earned this appointment, your love, leadership, discipline, and devotion made this day possible. So I thank you, all of you. In closing, it is essential to remind everyone of the path forward for Vincent and why this appointment is so unique in its presentation. From the onset, Vinny understands that West Point is only a means to an end, and that end is an oath to serve and protect and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. That legal oath requires Vincent's willingness to go anywhere in the world, and if required, quoting the words of the late President Kennedy in his 1960 inaugural address, be willing to pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe to assure the success and survival of liberty. These are freedoms that we enjoy and often take for granted every day. Only about 8% of this nation's population are military veterans, and less than 1% of the U.S. population living today is presently serving their country in uniform. This 1% protects, serves, and defends the other 99%. Vinny has volunteered the next 12 years of his life in service of this country, initially as a cadet and ultimately as a commissioned officer in the United States Army, and if necessary, to give his life in service to this country. This is truly an act of selfless service and humility. Each candidate must stand alone on their own record of merit and rise above all others to earn their place in the long grade line. Vinny is no different. Standing in front of you is not a superhero, but simply a young man that had a vision and worked extremely hard to be the best he could be. Vincent Michael Caluscio, on behalf of the President of the United States of America, the United States Military Academy, and the Board of Admissions takes great pleasure in announcing this certificate of appointment to Vincent Michael Caluscio to be a member of the United States Military Academy class of 2022. Signed, Robert L. Haslam Jr., Lieutenant General, United States Army Superintendent. Congratulations, Vincent.
Thank you, Major Bates. Now appoints to introduce Ms. Sue Iden, our Dean of Faculty.
Ms. Anderson, faculty, families, and guests, at the recommendation of the faculty, I'm delighted to present the postgraduate class of 2018. And I ask that all those who have fulfilled the requirements for graduation be granted certificates together with all the honors, privileges, and responsibilities normally accorded alumni of Cheshire Academy. With Ms. Anderson, head of school, Mr. Brian Otis, PG class of '89, and Mr. Monahan, Director of College Counseling, please assist in the awarding of this award. Christos Artis. Jack Bevington. Christopher John Blanchard. Kevin Dermot Bruce. Kevin and Darlene Buckley. Brennan Kane Chisholm. Ronan Matthew Chisholm. Thomas James Clark. Daniel Kelly Joseph. Stefano Del Pippo. Jack William DePaulo Wabick. L. William Alexander Ellis. John Kyle Fox. Awena Gazico. Vincent Michael Kishoa. Tiger Munn. Sriram Murali. Drew Arthur Emerald. Dolan James O'Castle. Louis John Oliveros. Matthew David Pratt. Jack Daniel Petroselli. Andy Tran Bogara. Jaden Michelle Riley. Daniel Orton Hunter. Zachary Anthony Spencer. Liam Patrick Sullivan. Joseph Takapina. Matthew James Takapina. Jake Christopher Wally. Justin Anthony Wilson. Please join me in a round of applause for these
Congratulations to each one of you and to the families and friends who are here and made this experience possible. Great. The postgraduate year is really a mystery for many people. Some people think of it as grade 13, others think it's a repeat of the senior year. But here at the Academy, we have developed a program that we believe can be molded and shaped to meet the needs of a variety of students, and you all are a testament to that. It is my sincere hope that for all of you today that are sitting here as graduates, as alumni of Cheshire Academy, that you have found this experience to be greater than you expected and to serve as a catapult to your next adventure. My thought is to end here with you today to remind you that life is about the unexpected and what you do when you are handed the unexpected. Pursuing a postgraduate year is, for many, unexpected. I imagine that as your senior year was coming to an end, some of your friends were selecting colleges, some were entering into service, maybe doing a gap year, trade school, maybe some were going directly into the workforce. But you all chose a different path, an unexpected, somewhat unconventional path. You chose to enter a program based on what you and maybe your family thought you needed. Maybe you were encouraged at home to study in the U.S. to shore up your English skills. Maybe a coach pushed you to strengthen your academic and your athletic skills. Or maybe you felt you needed some time to figure a few things out, academically, socially, emotionally, before heading away to college. The reality is that although you are all here for different reasons, you all chose an unexpected, unconventional path. I encourage you to continue to do so. We all have heard the quote from Robert Frost about choosing the road less traveled. Make your life decisions based upon what is right for you, not what is expected. Trust your instinct, that feeling in your gut, that inner voice that sometimes whispers, sometimes screams to you. Have confidence in yourself. Stand up for what you believe in, even if it's not popular. Do not be afraid to buck tradition. And by some of your dress code, I would say you are in good stead. Do the unexpected. Use your college experience as a period of exploration. Engage in conversation with others whose social and political views might not match your own. Ask when you find yourself in a situation that makes you uncomfortable. Ask why, ask how, ask what comes next. In high school, I was a nerd. I'm sure that shocks you. I was a class president. I was compulsive about studying, about earning A's. I graduated, went on to college. I went to Wesleyan, and it was a bit of a culture shock for me, coming from a very homogeneous small town. I met some friends, some great friends, and after freshman year, we decided that we were going to spend the summer subletting an apartment in Somerville, Mass, right on the Tufts campus. It was really, really hard to find a summer job in Boston. I interviewed, for those of you who know, Fannie Farmer Chocolates, Pizzeria Regina, but I was going to earn about $5 an hour, which was not going to be enough to cover the cost of this summer invention. So I went through the newspaper, because that's what you did at the time. You didn't go online looking for a job, you actually looked in the newspaper. And I got an ad for a security guard, $10 an hour. No experience necessary. So fast forward, I landed a job at 19 as a security guard in Faneuil Hall Marketplace. Picture me in a polyester uniform, khaki pants with a green shirt, a very wide brim Smokey the Bear hat. And I was, in short order, actually made the head of security for 500 Straight Street and Faneuil Hall Marketplace at 19 years old in the summer after my freshman year in college. My boss at the time, Leo Maloney, I still remember, said that I could work under his license and be trained to be a private investigator. Wow, picture that. Many people said they would not want to play poker with me, but would like to play against me. So private investigator, that was a little unexpected. So I called my mother, and I told her I was going to take the fall semester of my sophomore year off from college. And I was going to stay and live in Somerville, and I was going to be private eye. You talk about the unexpected. For parents, I can imagine what you would say if you received that call. If you know my mother, it was quite shocking. But I chose a different path for myself. I was expected, as that nerdy high school, gotta get all A's, grades are the most important thing, gotta get into that good college. I was expected to go to college, do my 4 years, and then go on to do something amazing. And what I did was really shocking and surprising by taking that time off and going really outside of my comfort zone. So I chose a path, unconventional, unexpected, and what was the end result? For me, I learned to appreciate education. I learned to value the sacrifice that my mother, a single mom, made to send me to college. I learned the value of $1 and how many hours you have to work to earn that dollar and to pay your rent. I learned that I love to learn and that college was indeed the best place for me. So I returned this spring, excited, ready to pursue all that life in college had to offer. I took a detour. I took a different path. I learned some difficult lessons, and I became a better person, I hope, for them. So when you trust your instinct, listen to yourself, I do believe you'll find your way. It may not be straight, it may not be quick, it may not be easy. But along the way, what you will learn oftentimes is more than you learn when you reach that final destination. I encourage you all, in closing, to keep in touch. Keep in touch with one another. Keep in touch with Cheshire Academy. Keep in touch with your teachers. You will hear from us. We want you to know that this is of you. We are grateful to your families for giving you this opportunity, and we wish you the very best in all that you do. Thank you so much.
Ready to go. Jade.